Welcome back, everybody, to the 4th episode of Lost in the Wild. Today, we have our buddy Mitch here again.
Thank you for having me, Jordan.
Of course. And then special guest, my cousin, Joshua Eli Rudman.
Gang, gang.
So I was riding home in the car with Josh the other night. Josh took me home from a graduation
True
party.
story.
And we were having a deep conversation about really the meaning of life, if you strip down what we were talking about. But it was disguised around our futures and passion and ambition. And I was like, Josh would be a good guy on a podcast.
So we
Here
got
we
him.
are.
And might I add that
We paid his agent.
even though Jordan is his cousin, we are both fairly good friends with Joshua himself.
Yeah.
I would agree with
And,
that. Agree with that.
So I'm glad that they invited me to be a part of this because I would like to, help get to the
bottom
The
of
core.
it.
The
yeah,
yoke. Get into the yoke of Josh Rudman.
the blank, if you will.
Okay, well,
Exactly.
so anyway, yeah, we thought Josh would have some interesting stuff to say, so he's here.
So let's hear it.
Also, we should say, how many years old? Are you 3 years older than us? You're 2 years older
I'm
than
20
us.
years old.
20, and we're
But my
18.
campers think I'm 34, meaning
Right.
I'd be 35 this summer.
When's your birthday? Oh, okay.
October 8th.
October 8th. Well, I'm going to turn 19 on July 15th. So you and I aren't so different, you and I.
I mean,
So Josh is in college, and we're going to college. We could talk about our graduation that just happened.
It was just a graduation. It felt like any other graduation to me.
I didn't have a chair, so it felt different to me.
yeah, that kind of.
Somehow Jordan got skeeted out of a chair.
Yeah.
I don't know how that even worked. Can you
If
explain
I were
how that
you, I
happened?
would have gotten a chair.
I was really considering it. I spent so anyway, what happened is we rehearsed this, and they were like, just do it like we rehearsed.
How did it get messed up?
Because when we go in, you go by alphabetical order, and I'm C, Shervitz, and the end of
Correct.
my row was Cockerham, Lawson,
Okay.
right? And then all of a sudden on the night of, the end of my row is Coleman, one after Cockerham. And so an extra person is in our row.
So do you think Chase messed up?
I mean, at first I blamed Chase.
Chase Coleman?
Yes, Chase Coleman.
Oh, Chase Coleman.
Or was it Hannah? I think it would be
He
Chase.
messes everything
We
up.
can't put someone on blast. This is
Chase, if you're listening to this, we know
love
you
you.
understand, and it probably isn't your
You were
fault.
really good
but-
at acapella.
Yeah, but you probably just messed up with the chairs.
I mean, the thing is, if someone messed up anywhere in those rows, it would push everything off.
And it did.
Yeah. So, and the lesson I learned from that is that I need to be more aggressive
Speak up for yourself.
with everything, because there was no reason that it needed to be me who didn't have the chair.
Well, here's-
had I just looked.
Are you bad at musical chairs?
Well, this was essentially a game of musical chairs with 300 people, but no one knew we were playing the game until.
And out of 300, you're the
yes,
only
that's
one
why
that
I was so
lost.
mad. That's
You
why
lost.
That's why I felt. That's why I felt like God was out to get me. Then I didn't win the raffle at our lock-in.
I didn't win the
So
raffle
it's
either.
More so a religious purpose on why
No,
you did.
it to be completely real, and maybe we can go into something on here. It was the thought through my head was I think I might be an atheist, and that was just more proof that God is not real. Why?
Jeez, Jordan.
Wait, no. No, that's
You didn't
not
get
how it works.
Okay, so you didn't
If you
get a
think-
chair at graduation. You lost a raffle, and now you're saying God isn't real.
No.
Well, I already
No.
thought that.
You say that God is the reason you didn't get a chair, but then you said you're an atheist, meaning you don't believe in God.
Well,
so how?
because I want to give God a chance.
So is
I think
God
I'm
against you, or
alienating-
does-
so
doesn't
if
exist at all?
anything, that gave you more evidence that God is real.
Well, first of all, I feel like this conversation alienates a lot of viewers, but I think we probably don't. I don't think any conservative or Orthodox Jews listen to this or anything. But no, to be real, I felt attacked by the universe, because why me in that scenario?
So you
Why did it
believe
have to
God.
be me?
Here's my question: Was anyone else complaining that everyone was a chair off the entire night?
It didn't actually affect anyone else because everyone still had a chair. It made no
How?
difference
If you just stood
If
up,
Chase was down
because there was an
another row,
extra chair in the back Not sure how that happened either. But
then it affected every single person until that half. You know what I'm saying? Until the back. What my point is that I guarantee you someone didn't know that they were going to be at graduation that night. Sorry. Someone didn't know they were going to be at graduation that night, and so they didn't write them into the program. You know what I'm saying? And then right next to you, and then Chase was.
But why did I have to suffer for
the thing
that?
is, if you just
it's not your fault.
If you stood up, if you said I need a chair, if you raised your hand,
you would have looked like
you would have gotten a chair.
You would have looked like a doofus.
You used to have colored hair, like you would stand out, but you would have a chair.
The thing is, I wasn't gonna stand up because but what I did was I waited until the teachers came by because they were releasing row by row to go get their diplomas. Mm-hmm. This is like 30 minutes in. And I'm like, okay, the teacher comes up to our row and I wave her down and I'm like, Mrs. So-and-so, I don't have a chair. And I'm mouthing it and I'm like pointing like, look, me and Andy are sharing a chair. And, and like she like mouths back. When she finally gets, I see it hit her that like I'm not sitting in a chair. And she's like, you don't have a chair? And I was like, no, like we're sharing. And like, can I get one? And she's like, she just like gave me like a.
Well, what's she gonna do? You know,
she can get like. When I told this story later, everyone was like, there's a full row in the back, but like I was in the front. Like she was moving around. Like someone could have helped me out. Here's what
I think, especially from my point of view. I didn't even hear about it until afterwards, so it's like a winner. Laughing. I mean. Can you imagine if you got up and you were like, can I get a chair? And like while someone's speaking and then like they put you on the Jumbotron of you just like, it's like, oh, can I get a chair?
But you could have gotten a chair at the beginning. If you're C, that means there's so many people coming in from behind you. There was so much time.
No. So the thing is, we didn't realize I wasn't going to have a chair until everyone's in and the principal's up there and he's like, class of 2018, sit down.
Why didn't you?
We realized it
Classic.
How did Chase get into your row?
So the reason it fell onto me
Chase
was we're standing up because you're not supposed to sit down until everyone is there, and then the people on like the aisle sides that actually have a defined chair because they're like, I'm the last person and this is the last chair. On both sides they start sitting down, and it's like the second person from the end sits down on the second chair.
Yeah.
And I was like right in the middle, so I was like between two.
But the thing is that this all comes down to Chase messed up. He was on the wrong side. But it might not be Chase's.
If you think about it, like
he was in the wrong
row.
It
wouldn't be Chase's fault if somebody between me and wherever. Oh yeah, it was definitely Chase.
It's Chase's fault. And I love you to death, Chase, but you thought you were supposed to be on the inside row, and you ended up on the complete outside, and you just like, I'm just gonna sit.
And also, high school is over forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be about me. But the one more thing about this is that when we went up like I'm C. I'm at the I'm C. I'm at the beginning of the alphabet. So when we were the third row to get up to go get diplomas, when we came back to our chairs, I tried to like fix it. I tried to sit down and share. That was my own. And that was
Chase came down again.
No, that pushed everybody forward one, but that was to the correct positions. And I was like, people were like, well, the guy next to me was like, yo, we were sharing one over here. And I was like, just go with this. And so we're sitting down and like people start making their way back to their seats. And then they're like, hey, scoot down one, because they're like displaced now. Like the guy who was in the second chair from the end is now in the first chair from the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can't. And they're like, scoot down. Like we were here. And so then I was like, okay, they're like, they know who is causing them this inconvenience. It's me. So I was like,
technically isn't, but
well, I was just like, I was just trying to get what I wanted and what I deserved, which was a chair at graduation. And then I say to my sort of good friend Lawson, who's on the end, Cockerham, if you will, I'm like, will you and Coleman share a chair, like for the second half? For the second half, because like we were doing it over here, I can get my own chair if you guys share for the second half. And they were like not willing to take one for the team, so I shared a chair. I gave up my own chair. Shared one again. Like
that's such a crappy situation to be in. Like we shouldn't have to worry about our chairs the night that we literally are done with.
We rehearsed it.
Public schooling.
We just talked about this for 15 minutes,
and it doesn't matter.
Well, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's that like this is a problem we're talking about, an issue of yours.
Yeah.
That occurred. But how fortunate are we to have that be the issue that we talk about for 15 minutes?
Oh yeah,
This is why we have Josh.
Yeah, you could have been. I'm sorry.
I'll bring you down actually.
You could have been like on fire that night, but instead you just lost a chair.
You're
I mean,
right.
there's millions of scenarios.
And I'm like
are worse.
healthy, like going into graduation, and I'm like fine.
Going to college.
Yeah, I mean, half of your butt was on a chair and half was not.
You're right. It's just
Consider
like
that healthy.
I guess I wasn't so mad about not having a chair. I was
How
mad
did
that
Andy smell?
he smelled fine, and he was a good sport about it. But I think I was just mad that it was me out of anybody that this would happen to, because it confirms my like thing that like I just have bad luck. I'm just not a lucky person.
Well, how would you have bad luck if you graduated high school and are going to USC and are doing something more unique and fun than almost everyone else I know?
How would you so if this happened to you, Josh?
If this happened to me,
you sit down.
I would one, if I really couldn't get a chair, which I don't believe that you couldn't get a chair, I would have sat on the ground because that would have been so much more comfortable. Two, I would have just gotten a chair. Absolutely, 100% would have gotten a chair. I don't care if people see me grabbing a chair because it's my graduation and I want to sit down.
Okay, there's 2 points to that. Well, I'm not even gonna rebuttal. We'll move on. Just know that like I obviously tried to get a chair. I didn't just give up.
So to me, it sounds like you were looking at a part of yourself that is called overthinking.
Yes, I do.
And you were using it as a weakness instead of a strength.
Well, the strength would be to like suppress the overthinking and just be like, I want a chair. I deserve a chair. Get a chair. Yeah,
exactly.
But the problem is, all the chairs were lined up in like a perfect row. So had I gone and gotten a chair, I couldn't change the order because that would ruin the diploma stuff because everyone's in order and we practice walking.
Yeah.
So I would have had to get a chair from the back, walk it back to the mic, like. And we're in an arena of people watching.
But the thing is that it would have made you look like the person that you messed up.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have done it. I probably would have done what Jordan
and
did.
A speech is happening from a student who's like, class of 2018, we've come so far. I would have like gotten out of my seat, been like, excuse me, walked through my aisle. I was in the middle.
Speech?
It was through the speech. It was Abby Flynn, I think.
Or
no, it wasn't.
Or I would have shared the seat and then told people about it and then not talk about it anymore.
We did talk about it, and then we're about to not talk about it anymore.
Fine.
Because I think that you usually use the overthinking as like a strength. That's like why all your details and everything are all your videos are very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And like you make sure everything's perfect, and you spend a lot more time on projects and videos longer than you probably should.
Well, that's a good quality.
But I'm saying that is something that a lot of people use as a weakness, but it's also like a superpower for some people.
Okay. So in that case, I should have.
But you usually use it as a good thing.
Okay. Thank you. Let's talk about you, Josh.
Okay.
How was you finished your sophomore year? Is it right?
I did.
Was it fun? Better than freshman year?
Yeah, it was a lot better.
How would you compare living in the house to living in a dorm room?
I didn't really enjoy living in the dorm because I felt so in high school there's like when you're a freshman like everyone looks at you as a freshman. When you're a sophomore, everyone looks at you as a sophomore, and so on. Mm-hmm. In college,
it's just your people.
There's freshmen and then everyone else.
Okay.
And because everyone else, they live in either fraternity houses, apartments, houses, whatever. Then freshmen live in dorms.
Yeah.
And you're already like in a secluded area just around freshmen. And it's just kind of like, it's weird because first semester, everyone's freshmen. You're just walking around like, oh, hey, other freshmen. Like we don't know anything about college yet. We only know high school things so far. And so it's just kind of weird. And then when you're a sophomore, you hang out with a ton of people that are also older than you. And everyone's just kind of a college student. So it's a lot more fun.
You have more adulthood. I mean, otherwise, when you're 20 years old, you're not a freshman that's cooped up with other freshmen. You're open to the world a little bit more. You know? I mean, a lot of sophomores get apartments.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you learn from a lot of like mistakes you maybe made your freshman year and like things like you shouldn't do in college, and you see it or you do it yourself and you figure it out, and like you don't do it again.
What is something that you did that you wish to prevent us from doing freshman year?
This feels like a BBOYO program. Tell them about college.
It's just like the biggest one was not to be like cliquey and have like that like friend group, because like in the dorms, like we'd always have like the same people come in and out of our rooms, and then when your neighbors see you that you don't talk to, see that same thing, like they just like affiliate you like with that group, and like when they see them come, like, oh, like those are their friends, and like we're just the other people. And in college, when I was out of the dorm, I learned that like being involved in other things, and when you just walk around or you're at an event with other people, just to be open like to talking to everyone and not be cliquey. Because being cliquey is such a high school thing, and that's what you know in high school, so that's like what you keep doing. And then when you go to a college where you know people, it kind of like sticks with that way. But then when you figure out that's just not fun. Like everyone's like, cool with each other.
Sweet.
Well, that's interesting because we are a group of guys in basically a friend group, like a clique.
I didn't really realize the like exclusionary nature of
the severity of it,
the way that we handle our friend group, which
Absolutely.
is like it wasn't intended to be so exclusive.
Like we literally tried to strive against this, but then we ended up like we are in a secret club is what we are.
Yeah, so we happen to call ourselves the Council, and we
have a name.
My friend group does the same exact thing.
Yeah, I know, but when you're inside of it, it feels normal. It's like these are my best buds, and we have fun.
But when you take a glimpse from the outside, it just we're crappy people. Sometimes.
No, it's not that. It's just like I know there are people who hate the Council and are jealous of the Council, and are mad at the idea of the Council.
But I'm telling you, it's not a thing in college.
Yeah,
well, that's good. Yeah, that's a good.
It's just
thing.
We're saying like it's hard to realize, I guess, when it is happening.
Like for me, like I have like my API friends, then I have like my choir friends, and I have my animal science friends. It's just like it's just like the people I know. Like I know there's no like obviously there's people I'm closer to.
Do you think that that's still like you're not in one clique, but you're in multiple friend groups that you could still group together? Say like, oh, that's just the API group.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean like at events like when you guys have like parties or socials or whatever in high school, you invite just your closer friends, and like maybe a couple of their friends. In college, at parties or whatever, you invite everyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone come to this party. The more people, the better.
See, the thing is that in high school, I've been at a party where this has tried to happen. If you are familiar with the open invite party, and those never work because this is some person's parents' house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like it's not.
Which is why college is so different.
Exactly. We don't own this property. This is someone's parents' house, and that they're out of town or something. And someone's like, "Hey, open invite party," and we actually have been striving to meet different people. Mm-hmm. It's not like, the only reason we have these parties in high school that are so like secluded to people we know is because it's safer.
It's the way we know it's going to be fun.
Yes.
It's more enjoyable. You don't have to worry about that one or more, idiot just ruining everything.
Have you ever been at a party or social at college that you've been actually like scared of some people that are there?
I would say that I handle those situations fairly well.
Well, that's fair, but you have been in a situation like that?
I won't say where I'm scared, but I have, not to go into detail, have had to do some crazy things to make sure things are fine.
Well, you could go into detail. You could, if you're comfortable with it. I
mean, it's just like people can't see me right now, but I'm a very nice person. But from what other people see when they don't know me, I'm a big guy with a beard.
Okay.
And I've had people who like they say like when they get to meet me in college, I'd be like, oh, like I thought you're really like the total opposite person, like mean and blah blah blah.
You're pretty gentle.
And so like when there's people who like kind of shouldn't be there and they are disruptive,
you bounce them.
I bounce them, and I do it in a way where I don't give them a chance to do something bad.
What would be something disruptive? Just like yelling and
like
pushing?
Trying to fight someone, trying to steal something.
Well, so
classics.
My dad went to the same. Did we say where you go? Do you prefer if we don't say where you go?
I go to Mizzou.
All right, so he goes to Mizzou, and my dad went to Mizzou, and he lived in the house, I think.
API?
And yeah, pretty sure. Or no, actually, no, I'm definitely wrong. He was in ZBT.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was up. We were up there for a tailgate, and we went in, I think, to look at your room just to see what a room looks like in there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And he saw somebody in the hallway, like, chug a beer, smash the can on their head, and then throw it behind them in the hall.
Classic.
And then walk away. And he was, like, freaked out because he was like, that would never happen in my day. He was like, and he called his brother. He was like, do you remember, like, people, like, publicly, like, smashing a beer in their head and, like, throwing it on the ground and walking away?
In the house.
Yeah, and he was like, no, that's pretty disrespectful. So, like, just kind of interesting what happens. And that wasn't even, like, a party. That was, like, a daytime tailgate.
Well, it's a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to many parents about their old fraternity or just college life, and a lot, like maybe that wouldn't have happened, but a lot of other crazier stuff would always happen. Like back in the day, like they would have, like on their front lawn, they would have like huge parties with like kegs everywhere, and like the police wouldn't stop anything, and they would have like snowball fights between like fraternity, and just
That's
like
cool.
and they'd like launch things from places to other places and like break so much stuff, and it was totally fine. Now like whenever like people are outside, like people don't even really have that much parties anymore because
Everything gets
like
shut down.
everything just gets shut down, and so in a sense, like I guess since people who want to like be crazy don't have the opportunity to do it as much as they did. It's more inside them that when they do have the chance, they do crazier things.
That's a pretty good explanation of what your dad was seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the built up, like, anger. And that's where, like, kids are playing Fortnite now and they're, you know, taking it out on that instead of taking it out in a snowball fight. You know what I'm saying?
I've just been thinking about, for the past, like, 15 seconds, like, what goes, like, imagine we're in college, Mitch, and I call you over. I'm like, dude, get the catapult. We're going to launch something.
Exactly.
Like, let's go launch something.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like they would do that kind of stuff.
I know. I'm just thinking, like, they must have either been bored or, like, hyper,
yeah, hyper is the word.
angry, hyper, yeah. Like, let's launch something.
I was looking for the word drunk.
or drunk.
Maybe not hyper, but.
And, okay, speaking of that, well, do you have anything you want to add on that? Because I'm going to
No.
piggyback. So my mom actually threw in a topic when I was walking down to hit record. She was like, ask Josh about like his mentality and experience. Josh doesn't drink, or like he's against the typical stuff that his friends have done around him, like smoke, drink, like stuff like that. He's oblivious to peer pressure, not oblivious, resistant.
Yes,
and it's
resistance
just like,
is
you
better
could say
word.
that.
How is that treating you? Like,
I mean, I would say that for people who know me in college, people respect it a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's always those couple of people who make a rude comment to me that I don't care about because it's a different thing. But like usually I'll be at a party or something or doing whatever, and like people will ask me to start drinking who don't know me, and I'll be like, oh, I don't drink alcohol. They're like, ah, how funny. I'm like, you know, I actually don't drink alcohol. And like their drunk selves, like for like the next 15 minutes, will like try to talk to me like, oh my gosh, like I respect you so much, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, those people, they're kind of envious though. You know what I'm saying? They kind of wish that they had the embouchure to do that, to be sober.
I've thought about that, but I would say so when I was. So I don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, whatever. And so when I was in middle school, my generation, no one did it. In 8th grade, like one or two guys did it. We thought they were like weirdos. Then high school hit, and high school is high school. Then each year, slowly, everyone starts kind of doing it. And then, so when I was in high school, I didn't do it. I chose not to. There was like a month-long period where like I really, really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And I didn't. I actually, when I graduated, you know how like you write yourself like a letter or something when like you're in like 6th grade or something?
I didn't have the teacher who did that, but they just got theirs back.
It was like 6th grade, then you get it back in 12th.
I wish I didn't have the teacher.
I wrote to myself one of the things that I wrote in my like little thing, it says, don't drink alcohol or smoke weed. And I was like, oh my God, like I told myself not to do that in 6th grade and I still don't do it. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. It's cool that you stick to your morals.
And so when I was in high school, I thought that like I didn't do it because of many reasons. Like it's one, like it's bad for you, but the biggest reason why is because I wanted to people like me because of the way I am. And when you're under the influence, you're kind of a different person. And people don't know that side of me. And so I just want to be...
You don't know that side of you.
I don't know that side of me. I always want to be the person consistently that people, think of a role model as or a friend as or whatever. And I also want to be able to help people who are, too bad. And so in high school, like I thought it was bad. Like I was against smoking, against drinking. I was in high school. In college, I learned that there's... it's not just negative. Like it's negative for me personally. That's why I don't do it. But a lot of people like drink appropriately.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of people smoke, like in a way that like they enjoy it. They're still they get good grades. They're productive. They do it just to like relax, feel good, or whatever. And it's like that's totally like fine. And then I took a class this semester, and the whole subject was on mass incarceration.
Okay.
And I learned about how like so many people go to jail for just like having weed and blah blah blah, and how minuscule it actually is being around it so much. Mm-hmm. And so my viewpoints on it now have definitely changed. Where like I think that like people when people think that like I don't drink or whatever, they like think that like I'm so against it, and like they don't like to be around me when they're doing it. Mm-hmm. But truthfully, like I still want to be social. I still want to be around everyone. And I think that like there's plenty of good ways to use it.
Yeah.
I have seen these kind of things ruin people's lives and people who use it extremely poorly. Mm-hmm. But that's all looked at back in the day. There's also people that use it well. And I, want people to, if people choose to use it well. And most importantly, I want people to realize that it's fine not to also.
Yeah.
That's pretty like an inspiring stance.
That's insightful just because, there's always a stigma with something, and with smoking weed, there's a stigma. Obviously, is like you're a slacker,
Yeah.
And I think it's important to defeat that stigma of that a drinker is always like someone who drinks a lot is always depressed. Yeah. Someone that smokes weed is he could be depressed, or you just don't have any drive in life or something.
That's what I thought like freshman year of high school.
Exactly.
But I was totally wrong.
Yeah. That's something we should stray away from.
Yeah, that's just pretty cool. Like I had admiration while you were describing that. That was cool.
Thank you. And so I think a cool takeaway for like college students, for people who do it a lot, is for them to actually know that it isn't fully bad and to use it correctly, and that sometimes like you don't have to do it every single weekend. You don't have to do it like every single day. Sometimes it's fine to be sober. And your friends like you, like that version of you, and to sometimes, just do things that are, just do anything and just be yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Be yourself is all you can be. Quote from Audioslave. Chris Cornell. Rest in peace.
Yes. Do you guys think that, like, a color exists that we haven't seen before?
That's okay.
Because
Tangent.
I have one.
Tangent, and I want to know exactly what this is. Let's hear it.
Well, do you think?
I sometimes ask the question, if there's, in the bathroom at this house, if there is a bouncy ball inside of that bathroom, but no one in the world knows it's there, is it real?
It depends on the viewpoint. Are you looking at it from a philosophical standpoint or like a logical standpoint? Like,
I'm asking you, is the ball there?
Yeah.
You said.
How do you know that?
You said there is a ball.
No, but I'm saying no one knows it's there.
Okay.
You just said
no. So he's just a narrator.
No. I'm saying no one, no one in the world knows it's there. Like let's say like I asked you the question, I didn't tell you that before. Then you walk into the bathroom, and you see the ball. Like,
so how about this?
I'm saying before you see the ball, is it real?
This is a different phrase of that question. There could be a dog in the bathroom. Is there any evidence that you have to refute that?
But there isn't a dog in the bathroom.
How do you know?
I understand what he's asking, but I think if you look at the definition of real,
see, logically,
if you look at the definition of real, the ball, whether like something is not real or unreal depending on people. Well, okay, so this is interesting.
It is not yet discovered.
A philosopher said, "To be is to be perceived." I don't remember who it is, so I can't quote it. I could look it up. And the idea was the only way you could prove your existence is if somebody perceives you, like sees you. And they said even if you're alone, God is perceiving you. And so this is back when like Catholicism and philosophy are like intertwined kind of. And so it was it was not only used to prove God, but used to prove existence. So if you're going to look at does something exist as can someone perceive it, like see it, feel it, know it's there, then no, it's not real. But logically, by like I think the common definition of real, I'll look it up and we'll see if it satisfies. But don't forget.
So if this was a multiple choice question online, you had to say yes or no. Like you can't like give any like extra like stuff about it. If you said yes or no, is the ball real or not? What would you say?
How would I know?
I'd say yes.
Okay, you say yes. The next question is.
Whoa.
And the next question is, are aliens real? What would you say, yes or no?
I would say they could. I wouldn't say they can't.
No, it's yes. It's yes or no.
The thing is that that's like. I mean, it's not always yes or no, and that's the question. That's
yeah.
Like,
No.
Who's giving me this test?
The thing is, it is yes or no because it's either there or it isn't.
Who's giving me this test?
Josh, are drugs good or bad? Those are your two answers.
Depends which drugs.
Those are the two
that's
answers.
Not on the test.
Bad.
Drugs are bad. So everyone that does drugs are bad people.
No, but that's a different kind of question.
Do people that do drugs, are they bad people?
Different. Well, first of all, are like medicine? Like, are you calling medicine drugs?
We're getting off on a tangent. I want to know about the color.
Okay, color.
First of all, real quick, make sure you guys are talking into your mics. Like, if you need to raise them, maybe do it if you need to. But all right. So this color, I put this on my list of stuff to talk about just because I just thought I remembered it when at graduation this kid Troy walked across the stage. Troy Harvey Valiant. He has like two last names, Harvey and Valiant. And there's a hyphen in the middle. And I remembered an experience I had with Troy. Haven't talked to him since elementary school, probably.
Really?
Maybe in middle school. So we go to elementary school with this kid. And in like 4th or 5th grade, we're in the bathroom. And I have a piece of paper. And he has 2 crayons. And he's like, somehow we both are on the same page. And I'm like, let's mix the crayons together and make a new color. And so we start scribbling. The first crayon is red violet. So like that's already like a interesting color. It's like a few colors in one.
It's already a fusion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fusion. Then on top of that, we take a white crayon and we mix it. And we blend it. So it's like a light,
like a pinkish color.
Yeah, and this color I've never seen before, and we called it Egerict.
You say Egerict?
Egerict.
Okay.
So what's the original question?
Does Egerict exist?
Okay. Here's what I'm saying. I think.
Yes, but it's not called Egerict unless that's the word you use.
That's what I think. Just because. You could take any you could take the entire color spectrum and point it on one specific point. It could be in between yellow and green. It could be in between red and orange. Those like it just has a name. It doesn't really have a name unless you give it one Egerict. You know,
you're right. So
there's a spectrum of colors.
So Egerict is definitely on the.
I mean, it all goes down to like us just like creating words and creating definitions and just like why is like this called a microphone? You know, I'm gonna call it grilled cheese because to me grilled cheese means the definition of a microphone.
Well, here's what I think.
Language is interesting.
Here's what I think. Is there a color that you've never seen before? Yes, because you probably have never seen every single combination of 2 colors.
Egerict.
That is not Egerict. He held up a purple flower. You can't tell the difference between purple and Egerict, Josh.
That's not Egerict.
No, I know. It's closer to like this. Wait. The inside.
Oh, Egerict.
Inside of
Got you. Got you.
Okay, anyway. So that was me and Troy.
Egerict.
Josh.
Hey.
Take us away, man.
Well, here's what I have to bring up. So what have you learned in college that, well, a little background. All 3 of us are working at a summer camp this summer called Camp Sabra. and we are counselors slash specialists. I don't know what I'm going to be. Josh, I assume you're going to be a counselor again.
Assistant unit head, but yeah. Counselor.
Assistant unit head, yes. What skills have you learned from college that specifically have made you a better counselor?
I think there's so many other things that taught me better things than college.
Okay, well, then explain.
I think that college is unreal, and it's almost like camp. It's almost like camp, like to live away like from like your home.
Yeah.
And like you're around a bunch of friends, and it's just so fun. But I think that I kind of found myself and found my passions and who I am earlier than a lot of people in my grade. And so like I kind of learned those big things earlier, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah.
So it's like the more you know yourself, like the more fun you can be as a counselor. Like
yeah, well, I mean, like so, like valuable things I learned, and something I learned last year at the fellowship I did in Pennsylvania, Cornerstone.
Yes.
Wasn't necessarily like what they told us, but it was kind of like what I realized there was that having fun is so much more fun than not having fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. Like last year at camp, like I've been going to Camp Saba for so long. Like my grandma went there, my parents went there, all my cousins and friends go there. And every single year I've never done the ropes course just because like I had this idea like I don't like ropes course.
Interesting.
You've had that set in your mind for a long time.
Yeah. I never go tubing because I say I don't like tubing. And stuff like that. Every camper kind of has that like that activity that they don't like.
Yeah.
And so this year I was like, first of all, as a counselor, when I'm telling my kids to do something, I can't tell them to do something
that you wouldn't do yourself.
That I wouldn't do myself. And also, if you're not going to do it yourself and they don't want to do it, you're just going to argue with them and no one's going to do anything. Mm-hmm. And so I learned that if it is an activity at camp, it's there because it's fun. And so last year at camp, I tried everything with an open mind, and I felt like I was more of a camper than ever, and I had so much fun. And when my campers saw me like trying to climb the hardest part in ropes course, and it took me about like 35 minutes that the bars, like
that are really high up.
Yeah.
Is it like a ladder?
The ladder.
Okay.
Oh, Jacob's ladder?
Jacob's ladder. And it was so, like, other people couldn't finish it in, like, I had campers that could do it in, like, 3 minutes. It took me, like, 35 minutes. My campers, like, they watched me do it, and they're like, wow, like I'm going to try to do it now.
Exactly. They want to, I mean, it's...
Kids are impressionable.
It's all call and response. Yeah. It's all, like, they see you do something, and it's, they have such an, I mean, especially you, Josh, as a really big role model character.
Oh.
They want to see, I mean, think about that. I mean, there are some other counselors that we know of that have worked at camp that do not have that role model type of atmosphere. I mean,
yeah, but it's mindset, and I learned that, like, just in doing every little thing, like even the things that like are so small, like if you have fun at the small things, like life is so much more enjoyable. And like in school, like I study what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not at school, like I hang out with the people that like I have a fun time with, and I do like obviously like there's like cleaning up like the garage like isn't super fun, but like looking at it like right now I'm cleaning my garage and now I'm like I wonder what things I could find from my childhood that like I used to have.
That's cool.
And stuff like that. And so I've really like the past 2 years I've been like so happy.
Do you think that boils down to this specific ideal or like philosophy that what you should be doing at all times is either fun or a necessity? Is there anything other than those two worth it to do?
I mean, like another thing is like, I mean, I kind of agree with that, I guess. I mean, I guess I do agree with that. And like, then people will be like, what about like doing things for other people? And like, I take joy out of like making other people happy. Like I'm like when I'm a counselor, I do 110% all the time. And like, I don't need the credit for it. I don't need people to tell me like how good of a job I'm doing. But when I see it like reflect like in my campers and in my friends without them knowing it. It's like naturally doing it. It selfishly, in not a bad way, makes me happy. And so, it's more motivation to keep doing. Like I have people in school, like they're doing their typical studies. I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was on our car ride. This is what the conversation that made me say we should get Josh here.
Okay.
Like they do, like they just kind of study like what they want to study to like make money.
Yeah.
What they think they should do to make money, and they complain to me about their classes. They complain to me about their teachers. The only time they have fun is when school's over, which is such like a high school thing.
Well, yeah.
Like I can't wait till 2:30 hits so I can go home and do what I want to do.
Yeah, I bet I'll be having fun.
But for
day.
me,
exactly.
I love going to my classes, and I love being with my teachers because my job is currently my job is during the year to learn, to gain knowledge, and then have summers off. That's literally my job.
Yeah. Except you have to pay.
Well, I have to pay, but I'm fortunate enough where I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah. I heard a quote, and I want to see what you think about it because it kind of has the coincide ideals of fun and what you need to do. Someone told me that since I'm going to college, I should balance my schedule by having from like 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock every day only, and just take that chunk of time seriously just like I do now in high school, and that'll make me succeed. Only that period of time, and then after that, I'm off.
I mean, that's just never going to happen because certain classes just aren't going to end up that way, timing-wise. You're going to have to do homework, you have to study, you're going to have to do other things outside of school at different times. And to put in your head, like in my head, it's that I sleep, and then when I wake up, I'm doing all these amazing things. You can't put in your head, from this time I'm going to do these things that I have to do, then afterwards I'm going to have fun. Because when you're doing those things you have to do, most of the time you're going to be distracted. You're going to be thinking about, what am I going to do when when I get back?
Mm-hmm. One of my main problems with it was that that's such a high school mindset to literally have that block of time that is very it's basically the times we're at school.
Yeah.
Like for high school. And only putting that time to studies is dangerous.
Can I ask you, who is giving you your advice? Because in the last episode, Mitch said that his dad told him that he should never learn anything or never trust anything he sees in a cartoon.
Okay.
Or
yes.
something.
Well, I hear this advice and then I critique it.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like listening to what these people say to me and it's just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I'll do it. I think before people tell me, or while people tell me things. This one didn't come from someone as close to me as my father. Actually came from the receptionist at the dentist.
Okay. I mean, like,
wow.
That might work for her.
That I've known for a long time.
That could work for her.
That might work for her, but if you ask her, like do you enjoy, like, from 3 p.m. and, like, before it, like, do you enjoy that time?
She'd be like, no, I hate it. I hate half the day. And
most likely.
Well, we're going to leave her nameless, so.
And a goal of mine, which I'm on track to do, is that when I'm older, is to do, like, I don't like the word job, but to have my job be something that I like to do.
Yeah.
And to be around, a good community, raise a family that, like, we're doing, fun, enjoyable things. And when there's, the bad things, is to, like, look at the positives. So.
What would you prefer calling it? Job? Like a job? Like going to your job or going to work?
I don't like either of those.
Wow.
Just kind of like...
If this was a multiple choice test.
From some tester
who tests colors.
Job, because it sounds more professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I see what you're saying. He's not saying, like, he doesn't want to label it as something. He's saying, like, it shouldn't feel like a job or work, right?
I mean, one of them is a verb. You can't job something. You can work on something. You can't job on something.
I want it to be something that I enjoy, but, like, I just happen to get paid for it, and that's how I pay for all my stuff.
That'd be really cool.
And it's awesome that I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that, because that is something that could be really hard for some people.
I think fortune is a big part of it, of how you got there, but you have to give credit to yourself by putting yourself through the education to be able to be qualified to do what you want to be as a veterinarian.
I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nadam-san.
Yeah, we're trying to make this catch on.
Oh, yeah, what do you think about this? Yo, this is a pretty sick podcast, Nadam-san.
It's like Yanam-san.
Nadam-san.
What?
Yanam-san. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I saw, actually.
Is it catching on?
Wait, did y'all make that up, or did you hear that from someone?
Well, I thought, it was you, not Hollenreich.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay.
It's not that I made it because
how fast
it kind of sounds like it could be Hollenreich.
There was this comedy sketch where this guy was talking about like
plagiarism,
like phrases that are so like long sentences that people can say like in such a short way. And there's one where the guy was like, when you ask like, do you know what I mean? And the word is Nami.
Yeah, it's
like
well, this is Nam-san.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Nah, I mean, you know?
Nah, I mean, you know what I mean?
Nam-san.
And people say that. Like, people say that every day. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
People, for some reason, people really like to point out recently that in St. Louis, only in St. Louis, or like the Midwest, really, do people, like, when they actually bump into somebody, they're like, "Ope." They say, like, O-P.
I've heard that too often.
It's like, "Oh, my bad, sorry." And like, I didn't know that was secluded to our area, but...
I don't see what's wrong with it. It's just like an exclamation. It's just like, oops.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
would you rather me like bump into you and I just go, oops? Like, sorry.
Do you guys like being in the Midwest?
Yeah, I like the Midwest. So I mean, I want to live somewhere else, but don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, so somewhere else would be better than the Midwest to you, right?
But I still like it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I like the Midwest. But I don't have anything to compare it to. Like, I've been on vacations, but I can't compare 5 days in Florida to a lifetime.
Soon you will be able to.
So I'm going to LA next year, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll be like, St. Louis is a shithole. Or maybe I'll be like, I miss St. Louis a lot.
Well, here's the thing.
Or you think LA is worse?
No. The area we live in
is really nice.
So I've been like I've traveled like a fair amount. My brother lives in California now. And I've gone to like other places like Omaha and just like other random places. And like when I was younger, I saw like that, like our neighborhood was like so like it's like the norm, like a regular neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And here it is. But when I go to all these other places,
in Chesterfield, it is.
Like my house in California, which is like I have a small like it's just basement and like the regular floor, like nothing special, but like totally good enough for us. Mm-hmm. In California would be millions of dollars. And then like when I went to Omaha, like their regular neighborhoods like just so gloomy and like not like fun at all.
So you're saying when I leave, I'm gonna realize like we had it amazing here, like cheap houses that are really spacious and like great neighborhoods that aren't millions of dollars to live in. Like,
well, there's give and take, because you're living in a place where there's so much going on, and I mean that's how real estate works. Really, it's like there's so much more going on in California than there is in Green Trail's neighborhood. Yeah, do you agree?
But I think hot take that. I told St. Louis,
Josh lives.
That St. Louis is the best place to raise a family.
I like it is a hot take, but so far like it's not out of the question for me to come back from LA and be like, I want my kids to be raised here because I had a great time growing up here.
Yeah, like I've had a great time. I know so many people have had a great time, so many creative minds. And then I meet people from other places, and they just had such different childhoods.
Oh yeah.
Like even I was talking to Burger.
This was a big part of our podcast with Burger.
Yeah, he thinks that like growing up here was so much more amazing than.
I don't think I'd be friends with Burger if he had naturally grown up in Houston because like they're just different. Like, well, I love everybody from Houston.
I love. Let's give a shout out to Mark Harrison if he's listening. Yeah. Mark, love you.
No, they're not bad. It's just like Burger is so similar to me, and it's like I'm a fan of that type of person, and it would be different. Like, I'm gonna change this.
Oh, Jordan, you like people like you, huh?
Well, that's why we were like.
Someone else
friends.
said that.
Jesus Christ.
Also, like if there was ever a attack on U.S. soil, like we're in Missouri.
So we're not getting hit.
Like when I was younger,
attack St. Louis, Missouri.
When I was younger, and like my imagination was just like so like sometimes like crazy and random.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, like we're in Missouri, like we're safe. Like when I hear something on the news, like I didn't know what it meant, I'd be like, oh, cool, we're in Missouri.
That's funny.
We're safe. No hurricanes for us.
I thought you were gonna say like you used to think like bombs could like rain down at any time, and now you know that that's unlikely.
No,
It could. They
but
could.
You know, we're pretty safe here. And
well, we don't want to jinx it, but
well, here's what I have to say about St. Louis is that I really don't like it when people are like, oh, St. Louis is just terrible. Like, I hate it here. And these are the same people that go to like the Loop every weekend and like have its great
we're
time.
Lucky to have stuff
and like
going on
and go to a great high school where they learn a lot. And I'm like, just shut up.
I mean, those are the people that just hang out in their basement every single night. Like, there's like Forest Park. You know, we have the best zoo in the country, history museum, art museum.
I think it's not that. I just think it's like people who have a flawed perspective on like what
the rest
happy.
of the world is. Yeah.
Well, it's like man, there's nothing to do in St. Louis, as in like there's no like EDM raves here or something. But yeah, we have a free awesome zoo. Like, you know, they're not like nothing against people who like raves.
But like my specific like perspective on it is like, really, like living in St. Louis sucks. Like, have you tried living in Zimbabwe? Like,
True.
I'm serious. Like they're way less fortunate than us.
Right.
And
it's like you live in an American town, suburb.
In college, where you're around people from like a lot of other places, but you're also around a lot of people from like other parts of Missouri.
Yeah. So they probably
who like aren't as close to like all the cool things that we're close to.
Yeah.
Like they complain about Missouri so much.
And it's funny that like people lump St. Louis, like people who are not from the Midwest think St. Louis is like similar to like those parts of Missouri. And like someone asked my mom if she ever went cow tipping when she's younger.
Gosh.
Oh
like,
my.
She's
Well,
like,
that's like a little more well known example. Sorry about that. Is I had a little bit of speech impediment. Is Austin compared to the rest of Texas?
Okay.
So Austin is very, very, very liberal, and it's very. I mean, it's a city, and compared to the rest of Texas that it's surrounding, it's just not even close to what Austin is. And so, I mean, say you're from Austin,
but yeah,
someone.
But if you just say I'm from Texas, you're like, oh, you're cowboy, like
Yeah.
Like when you go to USC.
Yeah.
And you say that you're from, like, instead of saying St. Louis, if you be like, I'm from Chesterfield, Missouri, they're gonna be like,
Yeah,
they're gonna think you're a farmer, like straight up.
Right.
Like how many times have you been on a farm in Missouri?
None actually. Like,
Well-
I had an opportunity and I missed it.
I think. Oh yeah. I think just in general we could stop lumping like assumptions about each other, and I know there's no way to just completely erase those from our mind. But at the same time, if you hear someone, Jordan from LA, it's like, yeah, I'm from LA. You're gonna think like, oh, it's like, so you're rich, and so like you've had a privileged childhood, so you're gonna be a movie star, you know. So you're gonna be a movie maker.
Sometimes when you meet people in California, you should like talk in a country accent.
Well, howdy, I'm Jordan.
I just flew in from the
Chesterfield,
Missouri.
Yeah. I gotta go back to feed the chickens.
I cow tip.
Hot take. Missouri people, St. Louis people have like the most normal accent in the world.
The average, well, any.
Like
I think British people would say they have the most normal accent.
Like
exactly.
They filter it out. They don't know they have an accent, and we sound crazy to them.
Exactly.
They sound crazy to us. No, I'm saying just no. I'm saying just like the U.S. Not comparing to like people around the world.
Yeah,
I
do agree that we have average.
No,
accents.
I bet like the most average accent is in like Maine.
No, dude.
Hello.
No, dude. Maine people.
It's like hello. I am from Maine.
Dude, Maine people call it like Maney. Like
no, I don't think that's right.
No.
I believe you.
At my old camp at Cub Creek.
I've been there.
The person in my cabin from Maine who did have an accent, and like he's either Maney or like a Mainer, like
Mainer.
Like people like up
Maynard
north,
Ferguson?
like they have that like kind of accent usually. I think that when
Josh, speak a sentence as a person from Maine.
No. I believe that the first ever voice was made as a Missourian.
Maybe the first ever voice ever? In English.
Like,
Josh, I don't follow that one.
Do you guys watch Westworld?
I do, Jordan but I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay, I'm 3 episodes behind, but first season.
Okay, yes.
But general idea, like they create like these like robot people, you know.
And they sound.
And they have to make like the voices, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that, like the first voice ever created is a Missouri voice.
The first. Are you saying in Westworld it was, or in?
I'm saying like cavemen
in Africa.
I think that it's the most normal.
No, I agree. Voice. I agree, but I don't know where you're getting this.
Like, there's no way to word it well.
That's like saying Missouri people are the most normal people. There's nothing to judge it off of.
I was with you on
besides what we know.
I was with you when you said we have like the most average accent.
Yes, that's all I'm trying to say.
Then
everyone thinks that.
Historical.
that is well. I'm taking it in a historical way just to show how I feel that it's like so average.
We could be saying. I mean, some people from St. Louis say the word y'all, and that's like
I say y'all.
Well, exactly.
As
you're not
normal. You all, which is a like thing that we learned in school.
It wasn't in the dictionary until like 5 years ago.
Oh, well, good thing I was alive during it.
But you didn't learn it in school. It's like
you could mirror this entire thing and like ready to transport us to Britain. It's like, I really think in London we have the most average accents in the world.
Yes, of course.
Yes, and like it's not even a question. We sound the most normal, and the first voice ever created was actually British.
Yes, and the most normal people in the world are actually from...
I think we should take a poll.
What is that terrible sound I just heard?
that was no average British
pure That is a scoundrel accent.
Kill it.
All right, hotter take. I don't know if you're about to say something.
Hot take.
Hotter take than hot. Silly bands back.
No.
Moving on.
Yes. No. I'd say no.
Don't know why you say no.
I don't really know if I want to take it in like another like darker direction or just keep thinking.
I feel like we should see where it goes.
Are you guys scared of death? I think I'm scared of death.
Where you live in St. Louis, we can't die.
Well, first of all, there's like the whole thing where like technology is like so advancing so fast. From like think about like from like when you were 5 to now. Mm-hmm. They're like when we're adults, like what is gonna be out there, like what's gonna be the things that like the medicine and just technology. So like that's just hard to think about. Mm-hmm. But like scared of death,
as in like scared of having your life be over. And
no, I get it.
And then like having it not be. I guess my fear is that like I won't have made the most of my life, and fading away. Like,
well, I think that for me personally, like I try to take advantage of all the opportunities I get. Like if you guys were at like when I ended high school and like my youth group, like stuff that I was saying to you guys, pretty much saying like every single opportunity I had, like I took it and like I did I tried to do everything.
But so even if someone said like Josh Rudman lived to his fullest potential, he successfully did everything he wanted to do, he was happy. What is the point of you being happy? What's the point of me trying to be happy? I experience happiness and then I die. And then it's like,
well, I think the point of it is that like in the simplest way possible is that it feels good. Like it feels good to be happy.
For a short span in eternal time.
Well, first of all, there's also like, what is your belief after death?
Right.
But for me personally, like I don't think about it too much. And like yes, like I don't want to like die like quote early. Of something that like just like kind of like happens and like like right now in America like there's like a lot of like freaky stuff happening. Mm-hmm. But like when like if I live out to like my full potential in age and you know, if I keep going on the track of what I'm doing right now, just like doing what I enjoy, like
you'll be ready.
I don't know what my mindset will be when I'm older, but I don't think I'll be like scared. Like I'll think that like I'll just be like kind of at peace.
The thing is that
that actually kind of calmed me.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's just the only thing that scares me is that no one knows it's gonna happen. I'm not necessarily scared of like, did I live life to the fullest? Did I do all the things that I should have done? Because I was actually talking with a guy who's getting closer and closer to me, Mason, from in my band. Bad Haircuts were on Spotify. We were talking about regrets, and we were talking about how I just got finished with high school, and I'm moving on to a completely different stage of my life. And he asked me if I would change anything, and I said probably. And he's like, I mean, we can't live in regret, and we talked about what regret really is, and that's wanting to change certain things in our life that we have to learn to just accept and make the best out of, and then forget.
I mean, like, regret just isn't like something in my mind. You know, I keep myself too busy, and I've said the word enjoy a lot, but when you keep yourself too busy with the things that you like, you don't have time to think about, oh, I should have done this, oh, I should have done that, because regret is, you know, a negative thought. And like I don't think about, like, I used to be like late middle school, like I used to be like when I do something, like I want someone to know I did it, you know, like, and I want someone to tell me like I did a good job, like if I'm gonna do something, it's not gonna be because like it's the right thing to do. It's gonna be because it is a thing that like people will give me praise on. And started high school, 8th grade, started high school, and especially being a camp counselor, I learned that it's so much better just to do all these amazing things. And, you know, and sometimes like people are gonna be like, wow, like amazing job, or like, wow, thank you so much. But most of the time it's just gonna be things that you see but they don't know that it was you. They learn it naturally from you, or like something natural happens, and like, and then when you go to bed, instead of thinking about like regrets, you're thinking about, oh my gosh, like I did this thing, and like this caused that amazing thing, and no one's like telling you about it, but you're telling yourself, you know. And it's like I don't have time in my day while I'm awake to think about regret or the things that, you know, I didn't do it. And if there's something I didn't do that I really, really want to do, I'll just do it in the future.
Well, that's the thing, is that like I mean, at least in my mind, ideally it's like, you know, there's no such thing as regret. I don't regret anything. Everything that I've done is something that I firmly believe. But the truth of the matter is that there's, in my mind specifically, it's just not realistic to think like that, because I've done things that I wish I didn't do. Oh. And I want to stand by the fact that I shouldn't have done those things. I can't pretend like that's what I actually wanted to do at the time.
Oh no, I 100% agree with you.
And you can't. It's not like, oh, in the future I'll do this. It's like I only have one shot.
I totally agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is to use those negative thoughts and weaknesses, as I said early, as a superpower.
That's what he was saying.
And you use it, in a positive way, because like if you look at it like regret as like is what you just said. Look at it as like if you actually messed up in something bad, like, don't do it again and learn from it. Because when you learn from it, people notice that. Most importantly, you notice it. And then, you know, life goes on. And if you try to... Obviously, there's people that do bad things and they keep doing it over and over again. That's not okay.
Yeah.
But not doing it again and learning from it is awesome.
Well, it's not necessarily something that... I just think that throughout my entire life, there are going to be things that just kind of spring up on you, and it's nothing that you've seen before. And so you'll make a decision, and odds are, out of all these things that happen to you, something is going to happen where you make a decision that you will regret in the future, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, that's what... I don't know how to really put this. Like, that's the scary part. And I know that, like, we can talk all about, like, oh, like, next time, or, like, making that in the superpower, right? Making your regrets into things that you should change in the future. But there are just so many things that kind of pile up, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you don't have time for everything.
Exactly.
And so use that time for the better things and not for the bad things. Because if you like when I was younger, like for youth group, I said that like I was a big believer on like having a program almost every single weekend. And now they don't really do that, and like there's been more troubles. And when you have that program every weekend, you know, we're busy, and they don't have time to do that mistake on a Saturday night that they shouldn't have done. You know, because they're physically, you know, like making themselves like part of their schedule is I have this program that night, and before that I'm going out to dinner, and before that I have to do schoolwork, and I have to do that, and during this time I'm going to be on my phone, and all of a sudden the day's over, and you're laying in bed. Yeah. And you just have to manage your time in a way that it's not just a physical thing, but it's also a mental thing. And manage your time in a way where, you know, pick the good things and not the bad things.
So like, I mean, it's been over an hour, so I think we're gonna start to wrap it up. So the one that we ended with Burger, I just asked him to tell a story that was really funny. We knew the story, but I just wanted him to tell it. Do you have any like really funny stories?
Oh my gosh!
Even if we know it,
I can pull one out if I need to.
Do you have a story that you're thinking of?
I would rather save it though. No, it doesn't. It's not about you. Like yours doesn't have to be about us. Just, I mean,
I remember the one that Burger told.
Yeah.
Oh, do I want to tell?
Yes. You leave people's names out and tell it.
Well, this solely just involves me.
Well, leave your own name out, please.
This is just really random.
Okay.
I used to play lacrosse.
Yeah.
And my freshman year, I was the varsity goalie as a freshman, and then like there's like this like senior dude who was like the JV goalie.
Okay.
And so he played JV games, but then the JV games
was he really that bad?
I like to think that I was that good. So during the JV games, like we were usually pretty good at them, and then like when he would do like when we really needed like a better goalie in, I would go and then play 2 games.
Okay.
And so this is like one of those days like I had to play 2 games, and we played our first game, and I start warming up for the second game, and I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Okay.
Like in one situation I thought it's like you know people were like it's like the worst like feeling ever. Like I felt that, and it's like I was a goalie. Okay, so I'm like blocking shots at 100 miles an hour, and I have to go to the bathroom, like painfully bad. And the game's about to start because it's in between games, and she goes going to the next one because it's the same team, just varsity JV.
Mm-hmm. Have you told anyone this story before?
A couple people.
Oh boy.
And I told my coach. I'm not gonna talk about him. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and like there's no bathroom anywhere, but I have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And he was like, no. Like he's like army guy. Like no. And I'm like, coach, like if you want me to play and not poop my pants right now, I have to go to the bathroom. And it's like they're shooting shots at me. Like when you're a goalie, you have to squat also.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much just like move away in a way where like I won't like poop myself, because if I run,
and
like it's over. And so I go to my lacrosse bag.
Oh.
And because like I know like there's no toilet paper anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
where are these games?
And so
the desert.
And so I'm like oh no, like what I'm about to like what am I gonna do? And so I just grab like a bunch of like lacrosse like equipment, like arm gear, like arm sleeves and different things.
That's probably expensive.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yes, it is. And so I go into this is at Northeast Middle.
There's no bathroom in Northeast Middle.
Like the school wasn't opened. Like
okay.
And so I go in the forest, like that little part of the forest, like before you see the field. But the thing about the forest is that like it's like a very small sliver, and the whole road can see you.
Okay.
Like it's like one of those things you can like see through the trees.
Yeah.
And like I can literally just be on the side where like everyone on the
field
can see me, or everyone on the road can see me. So I picked road.
Right. Good
and
call.
I did it all right there, and I had to use my lacrosse equipment to clean myself up.
Ooh.
Then I had to go immediately into another full game of lacrosse.
Well, at least you got to poop.
Were you like fully cleaned up?
Oh, like probably not. And it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I felt so gross. And people drove by, like it was just one of those things that like, I'm sorry, but it has to happen.
That sucks.
And luckily, I've been to camp before, and so
you knew how to poop in the wilderness.
Yeah, but that wasn't fun.
So both stories have been bathroom related.
Yeah, and I'm actually real quick gonna go ahead and tell a story on our friend Anthony's behalf. Do you know the story? Because it's worse than it'll make you feel better maybe about yours.
Oh, cool.
When he was in 6th grade, he was in band. Do you know the story, Mitch?
I don't.
He's in band and he played the saxophone, and he's terrible at it. Like I knew he was bad, but
he played until 8th grade.
Yeah,
he played.
I just found out that in his entire 3 years, he never found out how to actually make the saxophone noise. He just hummed into it.
Yeah, he did not know how to play saxophone.
And that's like something you need to know like at the beginning of 6th grade. And so I don't know how he went that far into the program without actually knowing that. But
we wish that was the story.
So at one of the concerts, you know, when you're in the band, you're surrounded, but you're like in a bunch of chairs by people. And he had to go. I'm probably messing the story up, but I'm going to get the climax right, which is that he has to go to the bathroom. He doesn't move for some reason because they're playing. And he poops his pants while he's playing the saxophone.
Oh, no.
It's like surrounded by people. And then he has to sit through it for the whole concert.
Dude, that's one of those things where you just gotta like you just gotta get the chair. You just you just gotta go. If you have to poop, you gotta go poop. You know, it's
But so you're saying he should have left? He should have gotten up.
I think
just for yourself.
I think if we had his teacher here with us right now, and we told him the story of him pooping,
I would prefer he left and then.
And
well, of course, in hindsight,
he would say, like, I wish he went and pooped in the bathroom. Absolutely.
Mitch, were you gonna say anything else? Or?
I wasn't. I just really wasn't. The thing is that I mean, poop stories. We all know someone, whether it's yourself or a friend that has been affected by.
Get out of here with the we all know someone.
What?
Most people are the someone, and they're just not. They don't
exactly.
Say it.
Okay.
They don't want to get the chair.
Most people have been in a situation where they unknowingly pooped themselves or knowingly pooped themselves, and they had nothing they could do about it.
I have so much worse stories of my friends that I just can't share.
Well, that's exactly. It's just there's so many poop stories.
And the moral of the story is that everybody poops.
You gotta own it.
Everybody poops.
You gotta own it.
Yeah.
And pants is just another destination. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to that. Sorry, it was a little gross at the end.
I will not apologize for that. Go up and get the chair.
It's natural.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Josh.
I want to get you a T-shirt that says "Get the chair."
I think it's. I like how I didn't see it as a metaphor until the very end. It came full circle.
The only people that'll get it are the people that listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
So everyone.
All the way through.
And they'll be like, "What does your shirt mean?" And I'll send them a link and say you have to listen for an hour.
And then after they listen to that hour, they'll be like, "Oh."
Oh.
Not even that excited. Just like, oh.
The thing is, like, you could get the metaphor from the very beginning. Like, well, you could get one meaning of it from the beginning, which is like, oh, he should have gotten up and got the chair. But if you listen to the end, it takes on a deeper meaning in life, where it's like reach for.
We should give that shirt to Anthony and not tell him the meaning of it.
We should just print a bunch. Like, Wild Wolf merch, the first edition, just says "Get the chair."
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Josh. That was interesting. Like, I feel like we could just come tomorrow and record a whole new one with like different topics and like. Yeah. It'd be just as interesting. You're just an interesting guy. And like,
thank you.
Shared a lot of mentalities. You cured me of my fear of dissipating into nothingness.
And you also cured you of your, your fear of pooping into nothingness.
No, I would like to.
You like to poop into not somethingness.
Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you for listening. I think the next episode we're gonna have like video footage of us. Hopefully that'd be cool. You know, like I always make these outros really long because I know no one's still listening by this point.
So just make it longer.
Say whatever you want.
When I was younger, this is a really weird fun fact about me. I asked my sister. My favorite word was Episcopalian.
Really, it's a good word.
And it took me so long to realize that it's a religion. And I would just say Episcopalian.
For some reason,
some people probably got offended.
Well, I thought it was like I mixed it up with pescatarian, and I thought it was fish related. But.
Well, it's because I used to go to the doctor a lot. Different story, but but you know when the doctor they tap like your like leg with like that
reflexes,
that thing.
Yeah, your butt.
And they tell you like just like say a word like during it, like say like, a random word.
Do they?
My doctor would always be like, say Episcopalian. I'd be like Episcopalian.
Like you look
and I always enjoyed it because like you know.
Can I end this?
Listen to the rest of this.
Can I end this with a hot take?
Yeah.
Mitt Romney is hot.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
That is all.
I agree. Sure.
Thank you. My name is Mitch Brodden.
Thanks, Mitch.
You have said thank you. We'll see you guys next time so many times.
I told you, no one's still listening, and no one's gonna call me out on that.
Thanks.
So thank you guys. We'll see you next time. See you later.
I mean, we're gonna cut all that out.
Peace out. Actually, finally, thank you for listening. Come check this
Bye.
Listen to
Goodbye.
Look out for the next episode on
Goodbye.
I'm hitting end. Bye.
Bye.